Good day, BSc for English. So let us discuss another topic for English for specific purposes, which is the perspectives on second language teaching. Last module we have discussed the introduction of ESP. Ano ang ESP? Ano ang EGP? Diba? English for specific purposes, English for general purposes. The EOP, English for occupational purposes, English for general purposes, and the branches, the issues concerning ESP. Now we had a bit revision on the topics to be discussed on ESP. So eto yung binigay sa akin ni Sir Jerome. But I guess this is really important, and these are new things for you. And let us start. Apo, perspectives on second language teaching. Palaging tinatanong, what is second language teaching? I know that alam niyo naman, you are familiar with it kasi second language teaching and second language ng Filipinos ay English. Thus, it is concerning us, English language teaching. But dito sa mga perspectives, ang gusto nilang malaman ay paano, how should we teach second language? Paano ba dapat tinitingnan or paano ba dapat ituro yung second language, which is atin ay yung English. So yun yung gustong malaman yun yung sasagutin ng mga perspectives. May tatlo akong perspectives pero yung dalawa ang pinaka-importante, yung linguistic at sociolinguistic, ay hindi pa. Pero bago yung dalawang perspectives, ano muna ang pinagkaiba ng form at function in terms of language? Apo, isipin natin, ano yung form of language? Ano yung function of language? Diba yung form? Diba tapos na tayo sa structure of English? Yung form na nandoon yung, kasi parang equivalent ng form at structure. Diba? Form ay nag-focus sa grammar, sa structures ng mga statement, kung tama ba yung paka-construct ng sentences. Opo, yun yung concern ng form. Pero yung function, sinasabi, tama, diba? Tama naman yung grammar ko. Pero tama ba yung pagsasabihan ko? Tama ba yung function ko? Diba? More of pragmatic yung function. Diba? We are dealing with ESP or English for specific purpose, and purpose is somehow synonymous to function, pero may pinagkaiba pa rin yung dalawang iyan. Apo. So yun. Form ay accuracy. Diba? Tama ang grammar, tama ang structure, tama pa construct ng sentence. While function is more of fluency or the pragmatic use of language, practical use of language. Apo. So let us discuss linguistic perspectives. Apo, sinabi ko kanina na ang dalawa na main perspective na i-discuss natin ay linguistic perspectives and sociolinguistic perspectives. At yung pangatlo is ideology and political perspectives. So let us have the first perspectives. Apo, meaning yung linguistic ay hindi siya mismo yung hindi siya iisang perspective, maraming focus or maraming view about linguistic in terms of second language teaching. Diba, na-discuss nyo na yung 4 communicative competence, linguistic, sociolinguistic, discourse, and strategic. Diba? So, linguistic is yung alam mo sa language. Diba? Alam mo na ganito ang sentence ay dapat may noun at may verb. Yung complete sentence yun. Diba? What the boy run. Yun yung linguistic mo, linguistic competence. Yung sociolinguistic mo naman, paano mo gagamitin yung alam mo sa pakikipagsalumuha sa iba. Diba? To socialize, paano mo gamitin yung alam mo na linguistic to communicate with other persons na may linguistic competence rin. Pangatlo, yung discourse, dapat pagsalita mo ay may coherence, may cohesiveness. Diba? Di mo lang pwedeng sabihin na na my friend's boyfriend is handsome, he is stupid. Kasi, nakuha po, my friend's boyfriend is handsome, he is stupid. Di ba, dalawang sentence, tama parehas yung grammar, tama yung pa-construct, pero ano yung nawawala? Di ba, yung cohesiveness, yung coherence, yung dalawa. Di ba, dapat lagyan natin ng but. Opo, my friend's boyfriend is handsome, but he is stupid. Nandoon yung coherence, cohesiveness. Yun sa discourse competence. Ay yung strategic naman ay you strategize. May gap, may problem, paano mo iyon solusyonan with your linguistic competence. Hindi ko na siya nilagay sa slides kasi review lang naman iyon. And I guess natatandaan nyo pa yung apat na communicative competence. Pero dito, we shall have the perspectives on second language teaching. Unahin natin ay linguistic perspectives. Ayun, din-review ko lang sa inyo yung 4 competence para i-define yung linguistic. Diba? Linguistic nga is yung alam mo about sa language. Your knowledge about second language or the language. So, linguistic perspectives, the primary purpose of foreign language teaching, wag mo ito sa foreign and second language teaching kasi yung foreign sa atin, diba pwede maging foreign sa atin ang Welsh or Thai na language kasi hindi naman siya normal na sinasalita dito sa Philippines. But second language natin ay English. Even though hindi siya pangalawa talaga kung literally second language kasi we have our first language, mother tongue is Bicol, then our second language kung literal is Filipino. Pero second language ang tawag sa English because it is a second language from the language of the world. Opo. So, yun pinagkaiba ng foreign language at second language. But here, foreign language teaching yung sinasabi. So, wag na lang malito. Pag foreign or second language, that is almost the same. Opo, going back. The primary purpose of foreign language teaching was to teach students how to study the literature and culture in the foreign language being learned through understanding its lexis or vocabulary. Lexical categories or vocabulary ng mga words na ang meaning ng ganitong word ay ganito. So, meaning you are teaching words and their meanings if your perspective of second language is linguistic. You want your students to be accurate or tama yung kanilang grammar sa tuwing sila ay magsasalita. Opo, kung yun ang gusto mo, then yung perspective mo sa second language teaching ay linguistic. Linguistic perspective has syntactic focus, which means teaching of sentence is also teaching rules of grammar, sentence patterns, structural or mental structures, and that generates sentences. So, ang syntactic, for example, I say, she ran fast. Yung she, pwede mo siyang palitan ng he because sila ay pareho ng lexical category which is pronoun. Diba? She ran fast, pwede maging he ran fast. Yung run, pwede mo siyang ibahin na verb or parehas na transitive verb. Yung fast, pwede mo siyang baguhin na iba naman na adverb. So from she ran fast, pwede mo siyang baguhin na he sings well. Diba? That is an example of syntactic focus. Now, ito yung mga focus or yung mga tinitingnan ng linguistic perspectives. Rules of grammar or traditional, sentence pattern, structural, mental structures, or cognitive. Apo, lahat itong tatlong ito ay nag-generate ng sentences. Let us have rules of grammar. So, rules of grammar, we have, diba, SV agreement, pronoun antecedent, na dapat ang adverb, nag-modify siya ng verb, adjective, and adverb itself. Ang adjective naman, ay minamodify niya ay noun or pronoun, diba? That is the rule of grammar. So, rules of grammar are those rules with respect to the traditional parts of speech in the classroom. They do not learn the language, they analyze it using the model of part of speech. So, sinabi ko rin kanina, di ba? Yung sinasabi ng mga grammar ay yung parts of speech, di ba? Like, subject, verb, agreement. Verb is a part of speech. Pronoun, antecedent. Pronoun is a part of speech. So, ganun yung pag-analyze ng rules of grammar. Apo, with respect to the parts of speech na dapat pag sinabing modifier, dalawa lang yan, adverb and adjective. Ang adverb ang minamodify lang yan, adjective and verb and adverb. Yun yung minamodify ng adverb. Pag sinabi ng mga adjective, ang minamodify niya ay noun or pronoun. So, yun yung pag-analyze ng rules of grammar. Next. If you are teaching sentence patterns are products of precise descriptions of languages. In English, for example, the simple sentence pattern is composed of a noun or pronoun and a verb. Normally, masasabing complete ang sentence kapag may noun and verb. Diba? The flowers bloom. The flower is a noun. Bloom is a verb. She bakes a cake. She is a pronoun. Bakes is a verb. And that is the basic sentence pattern of English. Pero marami pa tayong ibang basic pattern. Noun, pronoun, plus verb, plus noun. Yung kanina, she bakes a cake. That is noun, that is pronoun. She bakes verb, cake, noun. She bakes a cake. Noun, pronoun, plus verb, plus adjective. Ano pa example nito? She is beautiful. The pinaka-common pag humingi ang teacher ng example ng sentence, ang palagi binibigay ay she is beautiful. Kasi nga, yung is ay linking verb. So, verb pa rin siya. She is beautiful. Beautiful is an adjective. Noun or pronoun plus verb plus prepositional phrase. She is sitting, she is hiding under the bed. Diba? Under the bed is a prepositional phrase. Next, noun or pronoun plus verb plus adverb. She sings well or she runs fast. So, mga simple lang nabibigay ko mga statement. Pero, gets na naman, that is the sentence patterns. Apo. Mental structures is a more of cognitivist. Kung yung kanina, yung rules of grammar ay traditional, yung sentence patterns are more of structural, di ba? Sa structure of English, ang pinafocusan na pag sinabing sentence ay noun, phrase, adverb, phrase. Dito naman sa mental structure, ito ay more of cognitivist. Meaning, pag cognitive, nakaka-develop ka ng automaticity. Automaticity, kapag hiningan ka ng, pag humingi sa'yo, automatic, yun agad yung maisip mo kasi nasa mental mo na. Na-structured na sa utak mo na ganito ang sentence, ganito yung statement. Apo, that is mental structure. Mental structures of grammar are cognitive views of teaching of sentence that assume that one cannot learn a language simply by mastering all the basic sentence patterns through memorizing and mimicry. According to this view, such patterns are actually generated by cognitive rules of grammar that exist in mind. Diba? Cognitive, another example that we are popular is, alam ng lahat is LAD, Language Acquisition Device. Nasa utak daw. Na yung lang, may device na sa utak natin na may language na. At ang kailangan na lang natin ay ma-expose other language para yun ay ma-activate. Same here, mental structures, may structure na sa utak natin at hindi natin ito memorize, hindi natin ito ginaya sa iba. Yung structure sa utak natin ay naghintay na lamang para ma-activate. That is mental structure. Mental structures. So let us proceed with the second perspectives or pangalawang set of perspectives, which is the sociolinguistic perspective. As we mentioned a while ago, that sociolinguistic nga is how you use practically or pragmatically yung iyong linguistic competence sa pakikipag-usap sa ibang tao. Diba? Dito papasok yung function, yung kanina, that is form, the form of language. Sociolinguistic, ano yung function ng iyong sinasabi? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng sabihin na, Mary did something to John. That is correct. That is correct in grammar, diba? Mary did something to John. Pero kung ikaw ay yung listener, ano yung nakuha mo doon? Di ba? Magkataka ka, ano yung ginawa? So, hindi pa rin siya kompleto kasi hindi binigay sa iyo kung ano yung did something na yon. Di ba? Mary did something wrong to John. Ano kaya yon? So, may nawawala doon kasi ang social linguistic deals with ano yung epekto ng linguistic ko sa linguistic nyo. Opo, yun yung social linguistic. So, ang isa pang tanong na sinasagot ng social linguistic ay how to communicate, di ba? How should we communicate practically or pragmatically? Ito is social linguistic. Social linguistic perspectives. Because communication is the goal, learners need to use the target language as often as possible. So, what is being developed here is your fluency. Gamitin mo yung language because that is yung requirement. Yun yung requirement. While yung sa una, practicein mo muna yung grammar before you can use the language. Practicein mo muna yung patterns, yung activate mo muna yung mental structures mo. Pero dito, never mind of those grammars, you have to use the language. You have to use the target language. Yun yung sinasabi sa social linguistic perspectives. So the focus here are the functions, concepts, rules of use, tasks, content, and or conditions. So ito yung tinitingnan to have a better communication or to teach language for communication. Ito yung ituturo mo kung ang perspective mo sa language ay social linguistic. So let us begin with the functional focus. Functional focus is concerned with the teaching of the things we do through language. We have here social functions and expressive functions. So what is social functions? Social functions, for example, I would like to converse with a friend or to my students. I would like to apologize to to a friend or sa gusto ko mag-apologize kasi may mali ako nagawa. I would like to introduce myself to other people or to a stranger. That is social function of the language. While expressive function, more of hali sa kuya lang. I am expressing myself rather than communicating. I am communicating with my own lamang, diba? For example, I am expressing my opinion. Diba? In-scrutinize ko sa sarili ko to give an opinion. That is expressive function. Diba? An opinion is an expression. Or you want to express your disbelief. Na di ka man nagutupod dyan. You are scrutinizing yung sinabi sa imo kang iba. Tig-analyze mo siya. Kaya minsan, nag-express mo, ang expression mo is di ka nakakatubod. So, yun yung expressive function ng language. Again, social function is may kausap ka. Diba? You are introducing yourself, you are apologizing, you are talking with somebody or someone. While yung expressive is hindi naman hindi to address. You are communicating pero hindi merely to address, but just to express yourself. Opo. You are expressing an opinion, you are giving a review or giving a sort of expression, emotion of surprise or of disbelief. So yun yung pinagkaiba ng social function at expressive functions. Pag sinabing conceptual focus or concept, yung focus ay concept, a conceptual focus allows the second or foreign language teacher to work with concepts and beliefs that are formed in the target language. This conceptual knowledge is thought to lead the successful use of language to express beliefs and propositions. Concept. For example, I am a Filipino teacher. I am i-teach kasi di ba ang Filipino ay pwede ring maging second language. For example, in US, I am a second language teacher pero ang subject ko ay Filipino. If I am focused on a concept of time, di ba, konsepto ng oras. Sa Filipino, ang konsepto ng oras ay, di ba, mamaya, bukas, kahapon, kagabi, maya-maya, So yun yung concept of time. Yun yung concept. If I am to focus my teaching, second language teaching in concepts. How about concept of place sa Filipino? Ang concept of place sa Filipino ay nandyan, nandito, doon, dito, nariyan. Yun yung yun yung mga concepts na kung ang focus natin is to teach concepts sa second language teaching, then we will think of concepts. Opo. And the words ng target language na related doon sa concept na iyon. So, focus on rules of use. Kung kanina is rule on grammar, this is different, rules of use. Kasi you are not scrutinizing the grammar, pero you are scrutinizing paano mo siya gagamitin. Dito papasok yung pragmatic rules. Refers to perceptions of appropriateness in the use of a language. When you talk to the president of your school or your company, you must know not only what to say but also how to say it. We follow the pragmatic rules or hidden social scripts of conversation and dialogue. Apo, hindi naman kasi pwedeng kausap mo yung principal pero kinakausap mo lang siya. Yung language mo is the same language na ginagamit mo when you are with your friends or when you are with your family. Diba? Magkaiba pa rin yun. So that is focus on rules of use. You are using your linguistic competence at the same time you are adjusting your pragmatic competence or your sociolinguistic competence. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng pare-pareho yung level of yung register mo sa magkaibang level ng tao. Focus on tasks. So, task grew out of the satisfaction with functions, meanings, and rules of use. So, nang magkaroon ng task kasi hindi nila nakikita yung learning sa function, pagturo lamang ng function o sa focus ng function, sa focus ng meaning, yung kanina sa linguistic, o focus ng rules of use, yung pragmatic. So, therefore, magbibigay na yun ng task. A focus on teaching task is meant to address this particular shortcoming of earlier problems of teaching language of communication, language for communication. Task kasi, tasks are not unifunctional, meaning ang task ay hindi lamang isa yung function. Ibig sabihin, may mga tasks na may purpose pero hindi lamang isa yung function, many functions. Not one meaning but many meanings, not one rule but many rules. There are tasks, for example, your task is to write an essay. So, meron pa yung branches. Anong type of essay? Is it persuasive, interrogative, persuasive, expository, descriptive? So, about saan yung topic? Opo, may yung task is meron pang mga branches, hindi pa siya specific na maray. Opo, kaya po mo siyang scrutinize pa. Tanganin maging specific and tama, sige buon kang student. That is focus on task. Accomplishing a task is a complex activity, and the goal of language teaching should be to enable learners to grapple with the complexity of language use. So, yung complexity of language use is papaunti-untiin para maging specific na maray. Kasi, hindi naman pwede na yung suratin mo ay expository essay, pero gagamitan mo ng descriptive language. Diba? So, yung complexity of language is magkakaroon yung focus ng bata na ang surat niya ay ganitong uri ng essay, expository essay. Therefore, ito lamang ito lamang yung mga sentence na gagamitin, ganito lamang yung mga words na gagamitin. Magkakaroon ng focus yung student. Focus on content. Content-based language teaching enable learners to learn a language in the context of, say, science, engineering, fisheries, or social work. So, diniscuss ito last sa module 1. This is ESP or yung may specific na context na trabaho. So, doon ginagamit yung language, yung English, di ba? Kung English ng teacher, iba ang English ng teacher sa English ng nurse, English ng engineer, di ba? So, ito yung yung content, ay ituturo yung content base sa kung ano yung context. Opo, kung ang context to ay fisheries, therefore yung content niya ay tungkol sa dagat, tungkol sa mga lamang dagat. Opo. So, binabase yung content sa context. Same with yung ESP nga. The teaching is more focused on and directed in the sense that it combines language learning and content learning. So, hindi lamang language yung tinuturo. Diba? I am an English teacher, pero magtuturo rin ako ng content. Agricultural university ako. So therefore, if I am a literature teacher, hindi lamang literature English ang tuturo ko, kundi yung aking mga literary pieces na ipapabasa ay related sa agriculture. Pwedeng ganoon kasi yung context to or yung university kung nasaan ako ay an agricultural university. Di ba papasok yung The Passionate Shepherd to His Love and The Nymph's Reply to the Shepherd kasi agricultural yun, and other poem na agricultural or other stories na may pagka-agriculture. So, ganoon yung it's a combination of language and content na related sa context. Focus on conditions of language learning. The mantra here is forget grammar, forget structures. Same. So, more of fluency tayo. The most important dimension in second or foreign language is to provide an environment that best captures the natural characteristics of first language acquisition. Kaya di ba may mga yaya na nag-abroad, mga caregiver na nag-abroad na nagkakapangasawa ng foreigner because and sa foreigner kasi hindi importante yung grammar, hindi yung structure. Basta ang importante ay nagkakaintindihan silang dalawa. Therefore, kaya minsan yung pagsalita noong mga nandoon sa ibang bansa ay para ng first language nila, yung language kahit mali-mali yung grammar. Opo, kasi ang importante doon is to sound not to have an accurate grammar but to sound like yung language, yung English ay first language mo. And at the same time, naiintindihan ka nung kausap mo kahit na hindi tama yung iyong sinasabi. Opo, kaya di ba si Manny Pacquiao is kasi nakakapunta sa ibang bansa, therefore naka-English na siya, pero kung papakinggan mabuti ang English niya, hindi ganoon katama yung grammar. Opo, pero yung kanyang accent ay parang first language niya yung English. This focus on condition of learning may be more appropriately called a socio-cognitive approach. Why? Kasi from your mental structures is nahaluan na ng environment. Yung context mo nasaan ka. Diba? You are exposed to foreigners, or you are exposed to people speaking the language. Then, na-adapt mo yung kanilang kung paano sila magsalita. But the problem is, hindi yun accuracy, wala yung accuracy doon. Opo, hindi mo na-activate totally yung iyong cognitive, yung mental structures. Because, yung nagdikta, society or your environment ang nagdikta kung paano ka dapat magsalita. That is focus on conditions of language learning. So if for example, I am an English teacher, tapos I want my students to be fluent in English, kaya papupuntahin ko sila sa America or sa England, and there, mabubuhay sila doon for many years, na dapat ang assessment, pagbalik nila ay sounds like na sila, ng English accent na sila or American accent na sila. So yun yung focus on conditions of language learning. So last set of perspectives is ideological and political perspectives. So, minsan nag-inject tayo ng ating ideology in teaching language, same with our political views. So, yun yung sinasabi nito, ang dalawang ito. Ideology on SLT, a focus on ideological content of second or foreign language teaching, looks at how a language is a carrier of ideology or worldview, a foreign culture, and or religion. Na-inject, for example, na-inject ko yung religion ko sa teaching. yung aking culture, yung aking or yung orientation sa akin ng aking mga teachers, di ba? That is ideology. Nadadala ko yung ideology sa aking pagtuturo ng second language teaching. That is ideology on second language teaching. While politics on SLT, a language classroom focus on politics refers to how language teaching contributes to the maintenance of power relations both in the classroom and in the society where such teaching occurs. For example, kapag hindi ka marunong mag-Ingles, ay hindi ganoon kataas yung iyong mararating. That is politics kasi ang pagtingin ko sa English ay power. Opo. English, the language is a power. English is a power. Thus, kung patalo-patalo ka sa English or kung sarala ang grammar mo, sarala ka magtaram, di ka magiging mayaman. Opo, that is politics. Na titingnan mo yung language as a power and ininfluencean mo yung students mo na dapat sila ay matuto ng second language kasi wala silang power kung hindi nila ma-master yung language. Apo, that is another perspective in second language teaching. Yun. So, topic 2 done.